what has been the main driver, the main motivator for you?
Yeah, strange. When I was obviously my rugby background, I had this long-term vision from a very young age as a mid-teen, just to start for the British and Irish Lions. So, like for those who are just purely the fitness and know very little about rugby, the Lions is just every 4 years they'll pick the best players from Wales, Scotland, Ireland, and England, and you'll go and play traditionally one of the better teams in the world in the Southern Hemisphere away from home. And it's like typically a 10-match tour, and it finishes with a 3-match test series. So I was fortunate to go on 2 tours. That was like a huge goal for me. So I always had this carrot that was dangling, and that's what gets you out of bed on every tricky day. We're human beings, so there's days you wake up, you're like, the last thing I want to do is train today. And you say to my brother, it's not about training when you want to train. It's about training when you don't want to train. Now that's like, that's when the real sort of champions kind of come through. I don't want to train all the time, but you just drag your ass up and you get it done because you know it has to be done. And so I had this carrot dangling in front of me, and I did it a couple of times, and it was the last game I ever played. I went home, and it was really weird. That flame just went. Um, Played for the Lions twice. Both tours were relatively successful. I was 28, and I was like, I've done it. And I just wasn't motivated to carry on. So I do feel that you do need. I had quite a strong motivation, which got me through a lot of tricky periods. Like anything in life, isn't it? It's always hard if you want to be good at something. It's going to be loads of hurdles, and there has to be a deep intrinsic desire to want to do those things. Otherwise, you're just going to give up. Ultimately, that's what you're going to get. So you need a strong purpose, and a strong reason. I had that from rugby, which is what kept me going. So I guess it's probably quite a key question now. People go, "What's your purpose now?" And it's changed drastically. I've got 3 young kids now, and without sort of taking this to a deep place. Like I was on a train the other day, and there was a lady. No offense to anyone who was in this position, but there was a lady who was very overweight, and she couldn't walk down the train aisle. I looked at that and I remember thinking, I never want to be like that. I need to be around for my kids as long as I possibly can, or give myself the best chance to be around. Nothing's
Mhm.
guaranteed in life. So I train now for health and longevity because I want to live a really high quality of life. And even though I'm 36 and I've had 8 operations, not compared to high rocks athletes now, but compared to the general population, I'm probably fitter and move well than 99.9% of 36-year-olds.
Mhm.
Even though I've been through the mill playing rugby, I can still move very well and pain free considering what I've been through and compared to the average person because I know what I'm doing. So I train for longevity now, and I want to be an active dad, an active granddad. And I've realized, and you'll know, like all the research that's emerging is when we say strength, we're not talking powerlifting. We just need a reasonable level of strength for everyday living. Strength and aerobic ability are paramount for that, which is why I've started integrating, and I've enjoyed some high rock style training because you kill both those birds with one stone. So that's kind of my motivation now. I see my kids, I'm like, I want to set a good example to them, and I want to give myself the best chance to be around for as long as possible. So that's kind of where I am in my training journey. I don't lift the crazy weights. I don't really train specifically for power anymore like I used to. But it's much more around the sort of functional strength abilities and then the aerobic abilities, just so I can be around. So I'm not sure if that is the answer you expected. It's not really a
That's
performance
great.
goal that I'm chasing, but much more of a lifestyle goal that I'm chasing now.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it's one of them things that uh to be able to be around for your kids and play with your kids and feel good on a day-to-day basis. One of them things that's easy to forget. And then as soon as you lose that through an injury or illness or something, it's like, oh yeah, that is actually the most important thing.
Well, I didn't get it until like before you have kids. I don't expect listeners, if they haven't got kids, to understand. I used to be that player when there was guys I play with and they brought their kids on after the game. I was like, what are you doing? Just leave them in the stand. What are you bringing your kids on the pitch for? And like now I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally get it. Like, because you think your life is important, but when your wife goes into labor, and I've gone through this 3 times, you drop everything like a sack of potatoes. And that's the only thing that's important in your life is your wife and that baby. And I think, yeah, having that perspective now and wanting to be healthy and be around for them is a massive driver for me now. Massive
Yeah.
driver. So yeah, family is a most important, and probably was one of the reasons I finished playing my rugby career, because I wanted, you're very selfish as a, I'm sure there's a lot of high rocks athletes and competitors listening. And it's fine. it sounds wrong to say this, but you have to have this. You've got to be very selfish if you want to be good at something. A lot of things have to come second,
Hmm.
and it's exactly the same with being a rugby player. When I have to sleep, when I have to eat, when I have to train, travel, family comes second. And it came second for all my career. But there came a point where I was like, I've achieved what I want to achieve. I don't want to put the family second anymore. So, I mean, it's a trait you need. You have to be very selfish. You can't be good at everything if you want to try and please everyone else. It doesn't mean you can't have time for family, by the way. Of course, there is a happy medium. But I'd lived a very selfish lifestyle, restrictive lifestyle playing professional rugby. And then for a long period of time now, I've been retired 8 years now. I've enjoyed putting the family first, and things can work around that. But if people are chasing performance goals and they want to be successful at High Rocks, that's what you got to do. Like, and I support that. If that's your goal, that's your mission, and you've got a wife who can understand, or partner, whoever that may be, yeah, you have to be selfish. And that's actually a very good trait to have. To be successful, everyone has to have a level of selfishness, and that's just what you need to reach the top.
Yeah, yeah. I guess as well though, you also do need that support network around you, and I think I've heard you talk about that before, like the importance of the family and coaches and nutritionists and everything. Like it's not something that you do alone to get to the level that you got to, is it?
Oh, no way. Yeah, no way. Like that support, I'm lucky I got very close to my family, sports psychologist as well. Lucky
Mm-hmm.
become a very good friend, but I learned on him from a performance perspective as well. Agent was very close with, and then a couple of close mates. And you need that because like it gets hard. There's times it gets hard.